another one.
This one says, after 6 months of job searching with 2 years of experience, I got a job. And it sucks. So let's read this together. Are you familiar with the quote, "We don't truly appreciate what we have until it's gone"? I would say that's never really been a problem for me. I'm able to move on pretty well. But anyways, that's besides the point. This is where I am. The following is not a joke, drill, or troll, and all exist in the code base. I am magically solely responsible. The previous person left. All right. So it's a huge code base. Think 10 plus projects in Visual Studios. No testing whatsoever. I have to manually test everything. Classes with names like First Class and First Class 1. And there are absolutely no, I repeat, no code reviews. They used to work on one branch and commit on it directly, which is also the live branch. I tried to open a new branch to work on a feature and got scolded for it. The code review is my staff engineer logging in using TeamViewer to see if everything is fine. This sounds crazy. We don't follow Agile, but there is a 45-minute long meeting every single day between 4 people, myself included. Documentation is 4 pages long, and that's mostly white space. At this point, I want to run away and never return, but I don't have enough money in the bank.
One more thing. Price of the brick going up.
I tried to suggest to slowly fix things, but they pretend like I didn't say anything. So now I'm stuck onboarding myself in an unfamiliar to me stack. They didn't mind, which I thought it was cool at the time. You sure thought it was cool until you found out the truth. You messed around and found out.
I'm in a bind, Nate.
I get that the advice will be grind outside of work and keep job searching, but it's been only 1 month in, and I must include the company as previous experience. The way it works in my country, the way it works in my country is they can tell if I was employed and how long for health insurance. Will I look like a red flag since I'm job searching just as I got a new job? I don't want to get into the bad mouthing game and talk about why I want to leave. Whew, that is a tough one, but don't threaten me with a good time. Let's start the clock. All right. So, I'm not exactly sure what position this person has, whether they're the developer or they're the QA person, right? It sounds like they could be in the development team, right? However, I'm going to make a suggestion to whoever you are, like anyone who is in tech, right? And it's going to sound a little bit mean or harsh, but it's for your own good, right? Stop being soft. You guys, like a lot of times we get so scared because, oh, we were scolded and stuff like that. But you have to do things the right way, right? Because if you do not do things the right way, your life will be miserable. Things are going to be a mess, and you need to continue to preach the right way. You have to be an advocate for good and clean code. My suggestion, right? One of my suggestions is get a couple of books. Get Uncle Bob, Robert C. Martin's book on clean code, the clean coder, clean architecture, all that good stuff, right? And you need to like, don't like, the only thing that you need to do is speak the words of those books, speak those concepts, right? They might think you sound like a jerk or an a-hole because that is the only thing you ever talk about. You don't need to be worried about like being friendly and all that stuff being liked. If you lose your job because you want to do things the right way, then that is going to be a talking point on, why. Because the way that they have it set up, it is a recipe for disaster. I mean, it's not even a recipe. It's already a disaster, to be honest with you, right? But for you to be managing a huge code base and things like first class one and stuff like that, having to test everything manually, no, it's not going to cut it, right? So the the first thing that I would suggest, right, is enforcing code reviews, right? Starting to refactor the code, right? Like you need to write tests, right? So maybe you can start writing some test-driven development. And so let's say you want to refactor the classes to have proper naming conventions, because there's no way you're going to be able to use first class one and stuff like that, right? So, and you're going to need to start like implementing unit tests, implementing automated tests, all of that stuff, right? So that, and you're going to need to start branching out. You said, oh, you tried to open a new branch and got scolded for it. So be it. Like if they're going to scold you, let them scold you, right? But what are they going to do? Fire you? They don't have anybody else, right? And I think that one of the reasons that people get so scared because, oh, I don't want to get fired and stuff like that. No, you need to be a force for good. You need to learn the proper procedures. And if they want to fire you for using the proper ethics and professionalism, then that's their loss, right? But just because like sometimes getting scolded is how we move forward, is how we bring change and growth, right? So by you saying I am not, if you say I refuse, I will not work on the live branch and push code that way, then he says like you're going to be like, so many times people want to like implement change and stuff like that on some whatever social aspects and stuff like that, but they deal with the worst conditions in the working conditions, right? So I say, you know what, focus, like be a warrior for technical change, technical justice, right? So say I refuse to work on a branch that like on the live branch. I am going to open up a new feature branch and we're going to work that way. If you have a problem with it, then so be it. But that is how I am going to work, right? I will not like, and that's why I cannot stop to recommend the book, The Clean Coder. We need to have professionalism. We need to have ethics. I will not work on the live branch, period. There's no questions about it. No ifs, ands, buts, or about it, right? I'm not working on the live branch. Simple as that, right? I'm creating a feature branch. I'm going to do the work. I'm going to start refactoring. I'm going to start writing unit tests. I'm going to start doing test-driven development, whatever it might be. I will not accept a code review. I repeat, I will not accept a code review that is done via the staff engineer logging in using TeamViewer. The only way, like I'm going to open up a pull request to merge my code into the main branch. And I require my code review to be done via GitHub pull request or whatever tool that you're using. Maybe you're using GitLab or Bitbucket, whatever it is, right? But I expect and require and demand to have the proper code review protocol done through the through a pull request, right? I'm like, you're not logging into my machine via TeamViewer to do this, period. Right? It's simple as that. Like, and by implementing these proper code etiquettes, right? This professionalism, it makes you more marketable to go to another company. And like, it's not about bad mouthing, but it's this is how I work. And if you are not able to work this way, then maybe we're not a good fit, right? But I guarantee you that you will be the driving force for good. And to talk about the, like, we don't follow agile, but there's 45 minute long meetings. You need to cut that out, right? Say, hey, maybe we need to implement, like, maybe like you might have to be the scrum master to implement this change, but we're gonna have daily stand-ups 15 minutes at the most. There's no possible way that we're gonna be spending 45 minutes a day talking about God knows what. And you can be the one to actually start writing the documentation to make it clear and easy to understand as well. It's a lot of work to do, but hey, like I said, don't threaten me with a good time. It's not a bad thing. Like, I think that I like the way that I see it. I like to take these opportunities for my personal growth, and I can orchestrate a way that whether I'm going to be at that company long term or not, I use that as an opportunity to build myself, and in the process help the customers, which are my number one priority, but also help the development team and stuff like that. A lot of times it's not out of malice or anything like that. It's just there's a saying, right? There's a saying. Don't attribute to malice what can be attributed to incompetence, right? A lot of times they just don't know, right? They like, so many people didn't have the proper training for like development and stuff like that it becomes a total mess. So I say that you can be the driving force for good to help people, but you need to do it the right way. And you need to draw a line in the sand, put your foot down, and say, we're not going to work like this anymore. Maybe that's how you guys work, and that's why you're in the mess that you're in now. But we are no longer going to work like this, and that is my advice to you for dealing with that situation. But it's not all bad, because every single thing is an opportunity for growth. Our focus for this year, growth. Every single thing is an opportunity for growth. And that's what I want you to focus on. Don't try to run for the hills just because it looks bad, or keep grind outside of work and keep job searching. You can do that. But if you pull back from that job searching and you focus on, how can I make this better? How can I help this team? I guarantee you will shoot up to in the company, and you will have positions of leadership. You will have acknowledgement, you will have appreciation, and I think that is a much better opportunity for you than the alternative of just like whining, complaining, ranting, and trying to find an escape route. All right. Sometimes you learn the most by going through the hardest situations in life, right? Trust me, I've gotten a call from my CTO and his lawyer a few jobs ago at 2:00 in the morning when we were trying to battle a lawsuit. I've been up all night supporting customers in Japan for a deployment that we were doing for a software that we built. So I've been through it, right? And we push through, and I make myself better. I make my company better, and I have a better experience for the customers, which is always what I want to do. All right. So that being said,
if you enjoyed the fascinating information shared in this video and you want more, be sure to hit the subscribe button to Tech Coach Ralph to be notified for new videos.